Hey guys, sorry I didn't post yesterday. We started homeschooling yesterday and it was just a bigger deal than I thought it was going to be, and I didn't get to it. And in fact, I probably want to be upfront and say that with this school year, I don't know if I'm going to be posting quite as often here on YouTube, just because the kids come first and they're using all the computers. So that's actually the real reason. No, but really, the kids come first, and if I'm distracted with filming and editing, I can't be there for them during school hours. And so we'll see. I still want to be regular and posting everything, but it might not be quite as often as it's been. But August 1st was a lot of fun. Just James and I were reflecting on everything that has happened in the last year and everything that we've learned since that fateful September when we ordered the home version of Financial Peace University and spent an agonizing 6 to 8 hours surrounded by every scrap of paper we could find and bill in the house to figure out exactly what kind of hole we were in and how we were going to dig ourselves out. I still remember my first budget had like 6 to 8 categories. Like literally it was food, gas, it was just a couple things because James was like, oh, you know, I'll take care of the bills, don't worry about that. You just budget for personal type home stuff. And so it gradually, we realized that we needed to have an overall picture in a budget every month. And so whereas Dave says it takes most people about 3 months to get their budget down, it took us probably, I don't know, 7 or 8. So anyway, this month, my phone fell. This month, we have cut our budget by $1,200 from July. I told you that in a previous video as part of our No Spend August. It's going to be a challenge, but so far so good. We did wind up having to buy a computer for our son Reese for school, which although technically was spending, it was a necessary item. It wasn't like we were buying, I don't know, unnecessary vacation items or a new dog or anything of that sort. It wasn't frivolous. It was definitely necessary. We shopped around and got a good deal at Staples, and we actually only wound up buying the tower because we already had the monitor. So we got a better deal that way and saved a little bit. Homeschooling is going well. The kids, of course, have a few hitches learning a new software system for school, but my oldest son is loving not having to spend quite so many hours on his school day and just having a little more control over his schedule. And we are all kind of learning this together. So it's been pretty good, I have to say. The kids like sleeping in. They're not having to get up at the crack of dawn. I don't have to worry about germs as much this year, which is nice. So anyway, on my 1,000 subscribers video, I did say that I was going to do a giveaway for Dave Ramsey's book, EntreLeadership. And in order to enter it, you had to leave a question on the video. So these are the questions. I'm going to go through and answer them. I did try to talk my husband into helping with these, and he is just not ready to delve into YouTube yet. So he's just like, I don't know, that's not really my personality. So hopefully one of these days I can bribe him into coming into a video and spending some time here with you guys. But until then, it's just me. So I'm going to go through and read these questions all and answer them. And then at the end, I will announce who the winner was. I used random.org in order to pick a winner. And I hope I don't mispronounce anybody's name. So, and if you like this, if you like the question and answer stuff, please keep asking questions and we'll try to maybe do something on a regular basis where I answer questions. All right, so Joan S. says, congratulations on reaching 1,000. Thank you. I really like your makeup look. It's like from the 50s. Would really appreciate it if you could do a makeup tutorial. That's her question. I am not good at makeup, but if I did, I would like to have a 50s look on myself. Thanks for the giveaway, crossing my fingers. Well, thank you for the comment on the makeup thing. It was kind of surprising to me. Coming from a very plain conservative background, I actually didn't start wearing makeup at all on a regular basis until I was in my mid to upper 20s. So it's been a huge learning process. In fact, that was one of the first things I really started watching on YouTube was makeup tutorials. So I've never really considered myself an expert. If you'd seen how many times I had to work on the eyeliner part, you would probably never ask me to do one. But I mean, if it keeps coming up, I'll be happy to try and throw one together for you. Wendy Valencia, who I love her profile pic, by the way, always makes me smile when I see it, commented, "Yay, so happy for you. You look fantastic with everyday makeup. I want to read EntreLeadership, but it's not in the budget. Are you planning on trying to get your business debt-free after you do your personal stuff debt-free?" Great question. This is actually the first year, or my husband and I were talking about the first month, that instead of just attacking the personal stuff and trying to get a handle on it, we're actually throwing all of the business stuff in there too. Not that we haven't been careful, but as far as feeling like we've got a handle on everything, this is, you know, a new year for us too. So we're actually doing them concurrently. We're paying off personal debt and we're paying off business debt, and we're throwing a couple thousand at the business debt because obviously the business builds up more debt, what with vendors and everything, than what we are personally, since we haven't been using credit cards or charging or anything like that. So we're actually doing them concurrently, but all of the personal payouts are coming out from the budget we have set, and the business ones will come up out of whatever is, you know, we can do at the end of each month, with each month being different. Now going into fall, our business slows down as people start spending for school and the holidays, and then winds up picking up again once people start getting early tax returns. So we're going to do the best we can, but we plan on doing them concurrently if possible. Julie's World says, congratulations on your milestone. Question, how many sinking funds do you have, and do you anticipate adding more? Well, I've kind of been on both sides of this. I have, hold on a second, my battery light went on. I've been on both sides of this. I went from having no sinking funds to having dozens of sinking funds, and for this month, since we cut our budget by $1,200, I consolidated, condensed, and even eliminated some sinking funds. Some of the sinking funds I had created were stuff that were literally, it was literally like getting like $4 a month because we didn't need it until like the middle of next year, and so in an effort to cut back on our spending this month, I eliminated some of those because those can be started easily in the next calendar year and be ready to go when we need them. So I think right now our only sinking funds are birthdays and Christmas. Of course, anytime we have to use something out of the emergency fund, that's kind of like a rolling one that's always going. And what else do we have that work? I think right now sports fees are the only one. I have one child, Reese, going into soccer this year, and so that is the only one, and I just topped that off today when I did our budgeting from the banking yesterday, so that's done with. So technically we only have Christmas and birthdays right now, and everything else is on hold until absolutely necessary. So I do anticipate adding more, but just later on down the road. Jennifer Jagger says, congratulations, I am a new follower, so my question is, how did you get started on your YouTube journey? It seems so intimidating to me to be on camera, but looks like so much fun too. So when we started budgeting, I never anticipated doing YouTube. I obsessively watched every YouTube video from all of the established vloggers on here as much as I could. I wasted, well, I shouldn't say wasted. I don't really feel like it was wasted, but I probably spent more time per day than I should have on YouTube. I really started with Dead is Dumb, which is the very first channel I ever got hooked on, and then after that probably it was Live Like No One Else, both of whom have finished baby step 2 and are working on baby step 3, so they have a lot of vlogs, so I was kind of binging on those, and I really enjoyed that. I just decided, because I had people asking me on my Facebook and social media about our budgeting, because I talk a lot, so it was kind of all over my social media, and I was like, you know, if I could just say, oh, here's a video on that, rather than as answering every single person that would ask me questions, it just seemed easier. As far as being uncomfortable in front of the camera, it's still something I'm really getting used to, looking in the right direction. I am very critical of my videos, and I notice every flaw when I go to edit them, but I have some stage experience in theater, and so it makes me a little bit more comfortable with the whole idea. But I enjoy watching everybody's videos, whether they seem quiet, whether they seem outgoing, whether they're comfortable or new. It's just fun getting to watch all different styles of YouTube videos. All right, Beth Massog? I'm really not sure. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says, congratulations. My question is, how do you both manage to stay focused and on track being self-employed? Do you ever lose motivation, and how do you do it with children at home? Whew. Well, obviously, since we are in debt, we haven't stayed real focused and motivated. Being self-employed keeps you motivated for work because it is your only source of income. It's not like a salaried position where as long as you put in your hours, you can count on a certain kind of paycheck. Your return on your investment of time and effort and expertise is directly reflected in the income you make. So that's pretty self-motivating. I don't do a whole lot with the home business. I did step in and help with organizing some files and books several times over the years, and I might be more involved this fall since we've decided to cut some overhead out. But my goal, really, my part of that is to keep the home fires burning, to keep the house clean, to feed us, to keep our clothing washed, to take the kids where they need to go so James can focus his time and energy and expertise into our business. How do we do it with children at home? Well, they've always been home. So last fall was interesting when I was working full-time and we were trying to do a business and we had kids at home. Now, we weren't homeschooling at that point, but that was pretty crazy. But honestly, being debt-free, providing more income to get that snowball running, that's very motivating. But being self-employed is very much so its own motivator, because you have to, if you want income, you have to work, you have to develop, you have to, learn how to refine and improve your business. All right, Nilin, she's commented on a couple of my videos, and again, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. That's a big number. Congratulations. What are your frugal go-to meals? All right, well, as a faithful Dave Ramsey follower, we have rice and beans, and we had it this past week. I also like anything with pasta and noodles is good. Tonight we're having tuna noodle, which is a combination of egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup, mozzarella cheese, and of course tuna. Not that Dave would eat it since he hates tuna, and we all know that. But that's one of my frugal go-to meals. I could do a cooking video. I guess I've only done one recipe video. I wasn't really sure how much interest there was in that. But if there's something like that you'd like to see more of our frugal meals for a large family, I can't promise they'll be all that exciting because they are frugal, but I will do my best to put some of those together for you. Next up is from Portrait of a Budget Planner Girl. Congratulations on 1,000. I'm new to your channel, so I have many questions. Have you always had your own business, or did you make the leap from other employment into it? I also second the comments below about makeup tutorials. Oh, the makeup tutorials. Starting to get nervous here. We have had our own business for 11 years. Before that, my husband was employed for his brother in the same business, so kind of an apprenticeship, learning the ropes. So we've had our own business for over a decade, but it wasn't something that we always have had. And then I was employed for about 1.5 years, and I stopped in February in order to come home and help with the business and the children and everything. So it's kind of a combination of both. Next up is Homesteading with Hope. Congratulations. Perfect timing with your 1 year coming up in a few days. Yes, it was. Big deal. Yes, it is. What is the hardest thing to cut back on when doing a budget? I've been studying Dave Ramsey for a little while, and while it's hard having a car payment, I don't see that we could do without it. Your thoughts? This is a good question. It's not always easy to know where to start with Dave Ramsey. The hardest thing to cut back on, honestly, is like the personal spoiling, extra stuff. It's easy to cut down on things that you don't care about when it comes to things like, I don't know, what you like. If you're a guy and you like hunting or tools or sports or video games, or you're a girl and you like makeup or clothes, or I know that's like really stereotyped, but I'm not thinking on the fly here. It's the things that are nearest and dearest to us that are the hardest to cut back on. I would also say, as a mom, it is hard cutting back on things that are important to our kids, even when we need to. That can be really emotional. And I think there has to be a balance in that. While we may need to cut back on things, I think we also have to be careful not to cut back too much. Our children shouldn't have to pay for our mistakes. And while there may be some element to that in trimming a budget because of the mistakes parents have made, you have to find that line of letting the children know that you need their support while you make some of these changes, or making them feel punished, or making them have a bleak view or outlook on the near future because of what you're doing budget-wise. I think there's a fine line to find with that, and that's going to be different for every family. Been studying Dave Ramsey for a while. Okay, car payments. We have a car payment. We have never had a car payment before. We had always paid cash. So my advice to you is to pay off that car as fast as you can. And assuming you don't need to replace it right away, start working, keep that car payment in your budget, as part of your budget, as if you were still paying it. Pay yourself that car payment as a sinking fund. So you're setting that aside so when you do need to replace a car, that you've been already paying that there, and hopefully by the time you need something, you've got enough saved up to get a good new to you used car. So we are still working on paying our cars off. We have a little bit on there on our Suburban and a little bit on a truck one, but we are making progress as fast as we can on those, and hopefully after that we'll never have a car payment again. Rachel Gray says, congratulations on the 1,000 subscribers. I just found your channel last week. Welcome, new subs. You might have already answered this in a previous video, but what is your monthly grocery budget? I can only imagine it's quite high since you're a 7-person family. So this has been a journey experimenting with this. We used to spend over $400 a week before budgeting for groceries. Right now, for food and non-food in the month of August, we are budgeting $225 a week, and that has to cover everything from cleaning supplies to food to the odd pair of socks, anything like that, because for August we did cut out our clothing sinking fund of any kind. So $225 a week with shopping at Aldi's and then just getting whatever's left over at Walmart. It's actually working out. I don't know if I'd want to stick with it quite that small all the time, but we are working really hard on using everything up in our pantry and freezer, and so that actually helps. And I have told the kids that if they eat all the cereal and all the snacks between Monday and Wednesday, then between Thursday and Sunday is gonna kind of suck. So they're learning to be a little bit more frugal with their eating. All right, Rajesh Y says, what is the best possible way to earn goodwill among hardware industry and computers? I don't know. I'm not in the hardware industry or computers. Melly Mel says, I just found you a month ago. I love all your videos. How long have you been following Dave Ramsey? We started about 3 years ago. We have only been doing the Dave Ramsey program for a year. However, I heard about him as a teenager and was vaguely aware of him as some kind of nebulous guy that does finances. But we've only actually been following him for about a year. Actually, a year, August 1st. Magdalena Lamping says, what is your biggest fear financially? Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy probably, or not being able to take care of ourselves in retirement. Those are probably my two biggest fears, is to be older and not be able to do anything about it at that point, to have not prepared. Those are probably my two biggest. It's a great question. Chrissy C says, congrats. Is staying focused hard or easy? Why or why not? Staying focused on the overall goal, I'd say, is easy. Staying focused on the day-to-day minutiae and details and every spending decision that comes up is not. It can be wearing, it can be exhausting, emotionally, mentally, it can be a strain. It takes a real strength of character and determination to be able to get through all of that stuff without caving, and I can't say that I've never caved. My weakness right now, honestly, is salad. I know that sounds strange, but we have this great little place like 5 minutes from the house that has the most amazing salad bar, and it's like $5 or $6 every time I go in there, and I include it in the grocery budget, so you know, motivates me to save on the grocery budget. But at the same time, it's like, I really could cut this and I could throw this at something else. So it's those day-to-day decisions when I am craving an amazing salad that are harder than ignoring the big purchases. Yesterday, we went to do our grocery shopping, and my husband needed to go Bed Bath & Beyond for something, and I had to stay in the car because I knew myself. I mean, who goes into Bed Bath & Beyond and doesn't need something or need something? And it's no spend August, so I had to sit there with Bed Bath & Beyond on one side and not go in and spend anything, and Rue 21, which my daughter loves, from stuff from there, this t-shirts from there, and not go in and check the $3 clearance racks, and it was like killing me. So staying focused overall, easy. Staying focused day to day, not so much, at least for me. All right, Jenny Q says, congratulations, that's just wonderful. Thank you, Jenny. My question is, where do you cut back when you just can't find anything else to cut back? Whew, that is a good question. I think it's a process of being able to see your budget and see where you can cut back that kind of gets refined over time. Because when we did our first couple of months of budgets, if you'd asked me where to cut back, I wouldn't have, I've been like, well, we did, we cut back. We did all we can. When it came to August, I was shocked how much I could cut back on stopping debt snowball for the month, stopping payments to the extra payments to the medical bills, putting off really long-term sinking funds, cutting all of that, presenting that to myself as a challenge, you know. And sometimes you have to just be brutally honest with yourself, you know. But then again, you have to find a line between depriving yourself so much you don't stick to anything and putting so much padding in there that you're slowing down the financial progress that you want to make. So I would say the easiest places to cut back are going to be things like utility bills and grocery bills. I know if finding good insurance prices is a good one. If you haven't done that recently, you might be able to save several $100s a month by getting quotes from independent insurance agents. So go ahead and try that and see if that's something you can carve out of. Gas can be a one that you can save on, cutting down your trips, making sure any trips that you take to town to do shopping are well planned so you can avoid going 4 or 5 times for that last minute item you forgot, or just maybe being willing to do it without it till the next week if at all possible. I know our gas usage has dropped from about $40+ a week for the Suburban to $20. Now granted, we live in a small town where everything is within 15-20 minutes of each other, and that might not be true or even feasible for you, but for us, we literally cut our gas bill in half by being a little bit more thoughtful about how many times a week we were leaving the house. Carlene Frenny says, congratulations. I want to know if you have tried to inspire others to get with the Dave Ramsey plan. Well, it wasn't my intention to inspire others or try to say, hey, you should do this. And I don't know that I've actually come to somebody and said, hey, you should do this, but that's kind of just been the side effect of being vocal about what we're doing and just sharing it on social media, sharing it on YouTube. You know, it just becomes a natural part of your life that kind of flows out of you. And so the side effect has been that it has inspired people to start budgeting, to at least look into it, to restart if they fell off the wagon. And that's kind of been a really great side effect. But I don't really go out and try to contact people and say, have you started budgeting today? All right, last question is from Adele. Love that name, by the way. Adele Deegan. And her question is, what are your goals once you reach financial independence? My goal is, oh gosh, we have quite a few goals. I know James would have some things to add on here. We both really want to travel. And I don't mean like backpacking in Thailand. I mean like England and Europe and taking the kids to see all of the state parks. And we really want to do a lot of that. That is a huge goal for us. Another goal for me would be able to eat out more. I am a total foodie. We had a date night in July that was amazing. The food was amazing, and I love stuff like that. And unfortunately, when you're paying off your stupid tax, you can't do it that often. So that would be a big goal. Setting aside for retirement, setting aside for the kids' college, all of those things that are wrapped up in the baby steps are definitely part of our financial freedom. Also, another thing that's a really big deal to both of us is helping our local church and ministries, especially missions, are near and dear to our hearts, as we both spent time in Mexico when we were single as missionaries, and as well after we were married, we spent 6 months in South America. So missions are near and dear to our heart, and those are things that we would like to support as part of giving like no one else and living like no one else. All right, so that is all of the questions on my video. Thank you to everyone that posted those questions. I would love to do more of these Q&As. They're really interesting. I like seeing what's bubbling inside of your heads and the interests of your heart and what you're looking for in a channel. So thank you to everybody who posted. Now, I went to random.org and we chose a winner. So the winner of Dave Ramsey's EntreLeadership book is, oh, that wasn't very good. Portrait of a Budget Planner Girl. Congratulations, girl. Send me your address and I will get the book out to you. Again, thank you to everybody that stopped by and congratulated me for hitting 1,000 subscribers, and maybe we'll do another giveaway when we hit 5,000. So share the word, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for spending some time here at This Budget Life.